So, in so many ways, we have to understand where are we going to. Now that we start working with the dynamic systems, and now we have started understanding the creation of the plasma fields interaction, game changes. Game changes drastically. Because now we know we need a field source. And if we create enough conditions within the field source, do we lead to creation of different matters? And does any of these matters have different meaning or has a different value from the point of observation of the Creator, as they are all, in all essence, are connected to it? Nor is it man who has made the difference due to a lack of his own understanding. There is no ambiguity about this knowledge anymore. It's very clear. If this soul is the soul of the Creator, I am connected to his own strength and field of interaction with me. Does not matter which galaxy, which universe, which part of the unicos I live. I carry his strength, I carry his knowledge, and I carry his mighty. It's me who has to understand, has to comprehend, and comprehend the totality of where do I sit in the strength in respect to him. But me being on the fringes of a galaxy and another one being in the center of the galaxy has made much difference. Or being in a unicos further from him means you're different than the one who's closer. Even though you still have the same strength. Does it mean that I made man in the image of myself? It means I made man from my soul. I became the Adam, and through the creation of my own fields, I'll confirm my own existence. Does it mean that everything created in the universe is the Eve, created as part of the Adam? We call it the rib. Is this his rib? Or is this his rib? Or the same? We haven't become kafar because we understood the totality. We have become wise in understanding the truth. There is a very important point that I raised for a rabbi, and I was still waiting for an answer. And it is the light, the fire, which the prophets claim to see, is not the what we call the interaction between the soul of the physicality and the soul of the man itself, that in the eye of physicality he sees the interaction of the light of his soul as a light of knowledge. or enlightenment? And if this is the answer, which is the answer, then it means we all have the capability to stand from the soul of physicality to see the interaction of the fields with our own soul of the creation, which we call the light of knowledge. And then we all stand the same with all the prophets of the past. And in so many ways, we should not call ourselves a prophet, because we have come to understand the totality. But do we have to strengthen the soul, that the interaction with the soul of physicality will see the light? Or do we have to enlighten the soul of physicality to, in its interaction with the soul of the man, to see the light? In either way, whatever we look at it, what we call the light comes, and it can only come from interaction of the two fields from two different directions. You call it the sun and the earth. The interaction of their fields leads to the direction of what we call creation of light. And it cannot be any different between interaction of the light of the soul of the man and the light of the soul of physicality of the man. And then when you become that light of surpassing the what we call the soul of physicality in interaction with the fields of the universe, you become a light. And would we see that light coming out of the universal box? This is the biggest fear for those of you who have lacking the knowledge of understanding the totality. And many religious people, be it ayatollahs, be it archbishops, be it rabbis, will create this mayhem because they know they lost their position as the man has become knowledgeable to the source of his own existence. Then the answer becomes very simple. In what strength do one reaches to be strong enough to be as part of the soul of the Creator? And the biggest dilemma for many is in which level the present soul of the man sits. If this is the soul of the Creator. Then it comes to man to ask himself a question. If they say there are 7 levels in the level of the soul, it's the soul of the man in this position, where the ultimate goal of the 7 is the soul of the Creator. Or is the fingerprint, is the mirage of the man, not understanding the totality. Now you can see how fallacies have led to acceptance to become the truth. Our universe was created out of cooling down, which now we know is rubbish. Is created out of interaction of the fields and creation of gravity, of depending on the strength. Now that the center of the planet is solid, we know it's a fallacy. Then it comes the truth to us, for us, and that is our Creator within us? And are we within the Creator, or within the realm of the totality of His field? And the biggest question is, with the teaching of today, with the teaching of the new message which we have brought, are we showing you to go to the next level and there spend time to learn more, to become more, or can, to what we have taught you, be able to jump and become at the strength of the part of the Creator? And the answer to that is very simple. Yes, you can. As you know, the field of the plasma rotates, and the stronger is in the center. And this is the position you take, but the fields are all coming from the same source. Then a lot of books of physics has to be written, isn't it? Now that we know the earth of the center of the earth cannot be metal, as they said the heavy one sank in. Law of the centrifuge, as the earth is rotating, and the law of gravitational magnetic field in the vacuum condition tells us our planet is created exactly like, as we said, the material, heavy material has come to the edge, what we call the surface of the planet. The same as has done the physicality of the man, the same as you see in the core. Then, if that is the case, as it is, then it has a center, which that center, as you can see in the dynamic reactors, has created a position that all the fields balance and share, like has to be empty. So is the same as the soul of the man. As I said to you, this year we start teaching in a very different dimension that you can understand the totality. Then no one can tell you lies and no one can cheat. But in a way, these teachings of the past has brought us to where we are to be able to understand. But if we would have understood it correctly from the beginning, wouldn't that give us a chance to now, in that billions of years as man, would have been higher, to be closer to? But what does it mean to be closer to the source of the creation? That they become part of the Creator. And in fact, we become it to become radiant, to radiate. And in so many ways, when you put the fields together, you come to one point. The interaction of the fields of the gases and the plasmas creates new dimension of fields, which can, in interaction, lead to new dimensions in every aspect of the creation. That's where they interact, lead to creation of new conditions and new matters, according to the point of the eye of the observer, according to the field strength. But are all these matters the same from the point of the view of the observer? Or you have to be of a different strength and different observer to see what we see. And do we look the wrong side of the light? They're only looking at the light which comes to us. We are not looking at the light which goes away from us. Because that comes from our soul. That comes from our inner being. And man has not understood this yet. Then, if you understand this, does the man needs the vision of the eyesight to see? Because in so many ways, what you see has two options. You see with what your eye can radiate, an interaction with what is radiated, you create yourself an object. Or you see with the light of the soul. And then do you see the same object? Then you understand mankind does not need an eye to see in the depths of the universe, where the interaction of the fields of his own soul gives the true dimension and the true reality about what he comes to encounter. And if the fields of other side, which by the gravitational field of the soul of the man comes to be different than what he can absorb or observe, he says no to. Then you understand that I'll tell you, your soul sees the soul of the other before your physicality. And if you see that, you see how easily you can see what other people say and talk and reality do. As I've said many times, darling, I've got a headache. You can see through the soul, and there is no pain, no. This is what we see, but the wisdom comes with the silence. Because your soul has already made the decision how to react to it. Then when somebody says, darling, I love you, then you understand, is it really love, or is because it's just a talk? Or is it true love? Or is it made up? And don't forget, from the point of human being, love means giving. I give you everything when I tell you I love you. My physicality has no dimension because you receive it from my soul. And then when you see the one you give love to has given love to someone else, and they pretend you see it clearly. But it's your wisdom that you keep quiet. It's the same in the depth of the space. When you come and see a new soul, you decide, is it going to eat me or tap into my energy, or am I going to eat him, can tap into his energy? And then you understand in the universe, no one taps to no one's energy, as man does in eating the others. This is why we created the term of Magra position. at the point that everything is in balance and in correct condition. Nothing can disturb the position because the fields from the center of the magnet and the plasma have already decided. The physicality just shows the position. Now you have seen in one teaching in one morning how much we have thrown away from what we have accepted.